First card, Void Virtuoso. Is that right? Yeah. 1 mana, 1/3 during your turn. 1/3 demon. During your turn, your hero is immune. This is pretty nice. I like this card in like a deck that's gonna give you the fatigue deck, the deck that does all the fatigue damage. That's pretty cool. You don't take the damage, you still draw the fatigue cards. You can tap for free. Um, if it stays on the if you play it on one and you get to two, it's a demon, so it's got some demon synergy. Um, Neat card. I'd give it somewhere between a 2 and a 3. I think it's playable. I don't think it's the best card in the class, but it's playable.
I like that. I go to 3 as well. I think this is the main enabler of a combo kill with like one of the other cards. We'll get to the 3 mana one that does the damage to everyone, and that just like prevents you from dying. If you're setting up for like some super like self damage thing that would kill your opponent. So, but it's also just good on its own as a 1 mana 1/3 that enables a tap without taking damage on 2 as an example. Like, pretty solid card.
Not convinced we need it. I feel like the effect is not that great. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I would agree with you. If they weren't if all these cards weren't just demons, I'd probably agree. But the demon synergy do be there.
I'm putting this one as a 3. I kind of just the fact that you can tap and you don't take damage, but you still get the draw seems really good. So like, if you can play this on turn 1, then hero power turn 2, you're still getting value. Seems like it is flexible enough to try to get that synergy where you could probably put it in a couple different decks. Maybe this isn't the greatest right now, but I can see this being powerful in multiple different archetypes over, the coming year or two.
I see this card immediately seeing play in Wild, so I imagine this will see play in every Warlock deck. This expansion, I would imagine, just because it's a 1 mana 1/3 and it has a pretty damn good effect. I gave it a 4 for being in multiple Warlock decks, and it probably has some good synergies with stuff.
All right, Baritone Imp, take fatigue damage, gain that much attack and health. So increasing the fatigue, the fatigue cards increase by 1 every time you play one. Then does the full effect even if the damage is prevented. So via the card that we just looked at, even if you don't take the damage, the immune damage, you still gain however much fatigue you would have taken. So this is a 2/2 demon. Take fatigue damage, gain that much attack and health. I think this card is pretty solid. It's just a 2 mana 3/3 demon. I like that. It's pretty aggressive, so I'll give it a 3.
I agree with that. 3.
Yeah.
3 for me. The way that this should work, right, is that you start just accelerating the fatigue damage immediately.
Yes.
So when you actually finally get to the end of your deck, if this was, for instance, the only card you played that took fatigue damage, your end of deck would take 2 instead of 1.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just like how there was a Warlock card that shuffles 3 of those into your thing. It would increase the fatigue the same way that this does. I forget the name. Oh, Curse of Agony.
Really solid, even just for like aggressive board focused decks, as well as ones that concentrate on like trying to kill you with the self damage fatigue stuff that they can enable later. I like it a lot. Borderline 4. I'm gonna stick with a 3 though.
I'm giving it a 3 as well. I like this one the most out of all of these like fatigue cards. I will say preemptively, I am not really a fan of like this whole fatigue package thing. I don't know. I don't really think it's all that great, but I like this one a lot. So 3 for me.
And it's an imp. That is important to.
It is an imp.
Funny how
Any
it's
other
not
card.
or not a tribe. It's just like has to say it on the card.
Yep.
So weird.
Next is, you said Heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
The weapon.
Nice. Fellstring Heart. It's going to be a 2 mana 0/3 weapon. Whenever your hero would take damage on your turn, restore 2 health instead, and you lose 1 durability. So you negate the damage and you gain 2 health instead. That's pretty cool. You do it 3 times. It's only 2 mana, so it's a cheaper weapon. If you're doing some kind of combo thing, then it's cool. If you're not doing a combo-y thing, you're probably not going to play this card. So it's really just probably a 1 for me. I just can't see us throwing it in our deck because it doesn't really do anything. Not taking damage is cool, but like you'd have to get really high up in your fatigue ticks to really care about that. And at that point, you're probably winning the game, or you've already lost the game anyway. And just restoring 2 health is probably not going to do that for you.
I think it's really good. It doesn't just restore the health, like negating it essentially heals 4 because you don't take 2 plus you heal 2. Like if you were to tap, for example.
But that's
It's only takes damage on your turn. It doesn't do it when people do damage into you. Yeah, I guess that's for fatigue stuff.
I have a hard
Yeah,
time
it
giving this
takes away too
like
quick.
a 4, even though I kind of want to give it a 4 because I do think it's a very strong card, but it's only a very strong card for like one particular type of Warlock deck that realistically would run it. Like this doesn't go in aggressive Warlock decks. That'd be kind of weird. You don't want to play this card in order to negate a tap. Like that doesn't feel very good to gain 2 instead of take 2 as your use for this. This card, I think, is there to combo kill your opponent and not die on your combo kill. Like, you're using this with the next card that we'll talk about, Crescendo. Like, you want to burn your deck as quickly as possible so that you're taking fatigue damage. You want to play other cards that accelerate your fatigue damage, and then you want to weaponize that fatigue damage but not kill yourself while doing it. And that's what this card does.
Yeah, and you run 2 of these, so you can use one in the middle of the game just to not take damage and heal a bunch. Seems really, really good to me.
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna get a 4.
I say 3 because I don't see it in any other deck but that one. But in that deck, it might wind up being like 5. You know, it could be something like depending on how good Warlock can be at drawing out their whole deck and burning their whole deck.
Yeah,
That might be the card that defines the format. So this has mega broken upside, but I'll stick with 3 for now because it's like major support for one deck and not any others.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That reasoning is why I
that's
gave
reasonable.
it a 2. I don't know. It's like, I feel like there's just so much setup you have to do for it to get the value. And
to be fair, the deck might be garbage, and it might wind up just being an unplayable card.
Like,
we
I'm
can't
just not a
predict what's gonna happen
believer
with
in the
meta.
fatigue package either, so that's probably why I'm rating it a little lower.
But were you a believer in Mindlock? Just saying, Warlock has plenty of ways to do crazy nonsense things that break the meta that are not intuitive when you first look at it. But you can see the potential of a card to be mega broken, and this is one of them that has the mega broken potential that
absolutely
others don't.
This is one that's like either going to be the pivotal card or it's going to be just useless. There's like no in between.
For me, I don't know. You can't play it on. You can play it on curve, but it's the least value when you play it on curve. Obviously, you play a second one and you can just play that whenever. But you play it on curve, you do nothing. Are you gonna just tap for 3 turns, or like you're doing the things that like the Crescendo you're not gonna play, which is the next card we'll talk about. You're generally not gonna play that on 3. The Baritone Imp, you are debating between playing Baritone Imp and Fellstring Harp on 2. You're definitely gonna play the Imp if you're trying to do an aggressive thing, and if you're doing an aggressive thing, you're not gonna play a 0/3 weapon that just like saves you health because you're the aggressive deck. That's not what you do. You don't really care about if you can control the board, you don't care about the health aspect. You're not spending 2 mana to do nothing.
Yeah, like a Warlock that's flooding the board with imps and beating you up with like aggressive demons could care less about the fact that when they win the game, they won the game at 28 health instead of 14 health or something.
Also, Void Virtuoso does this exact thing for 1 mana. You just don't gain 2 health.
Yeah, but that's like redundancy to survive rather than like, oh, these 2 things counteract each other. They can counteract each other, but they probably just go in the one deck that's focused around killing you with fatigue stuff, so that if you missed on your harp, you get to play the 1 mana card instead.
Oh, sure, definitely.
I really don't think this is that bad in like a Warlock deck that's not the fatigue deck. I mean, I'm not playing this in an aggro deck, but like any other Warlock deck, like if we're playing big demons or something, I'm very happy to play this.
Curse Lock is
Heal 6 actually, yeah, you know what? That's fair.
6. Like it's
I buy it.
definitely good.
I'm giving this a 4.
Let's
That's
go.
all the
Let's go.
explanation I needed.
Wait, I missed. What did he say?
No, just like any other deck that's not the fatigue deck, that's not like aggro Warlock, is going to be pretty happy to have this negate a lot of self damage. I like that. I like that as an explanation.
Like it's a
Yeah.
It
12
can go into
HP
multiple
swing.
decks.
It's not
It
just
just
plus
doesn't go
6.
into
It's,
aggro.
it's a 12 HP swing. You're not -6, you're +6.
I mean, sure.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
agree. Would never play this in like imps. Not a chance.
I mean, considering the fact that we're getting Void Caller and some other cards that were
Mhm.
that are pretty nice for demons, so we're getting
Now
These
again,
first three, though, look
Dreadlord
pretty cool to
Mal'Ganis,
me.
Void Caller, like those are all cards I played. Those are all cards that like, man, that just really makes me want Cube. But I think they didn't bring Cube back because they figured it might be a little too much with all the package.
Probably smart. I like
Yes.
Cube too, but Cube
Me
with
too.
Break.
I
Yeah.
still play. I get wins. I can win with Cube Lock on Wild Ladder right now. It's not great, but I can win with it.
All right,
I'm willing to wager anything that my non Fellstring Harp Warlock deck will beat the Fellstring Harp Warlock deck.
Well, it just depends, right? Like, I mean,
That doesn't
aggro,
necessarily even mean that it's going to be a better deck in the meta, though.
I will
Like,
play the same deck and just take out.
I'm willing to bet that I could take like a Murloc deck and beat a really slow deck, but that doesn't mean the Murloc deck is playable in standard.
No.
Versus
I
slow deck
I will take the same list and just take out Harp and put in 2 other cards.
Okay.
Lol.
Next card, Crescendo. Take fatigue damage, deal that much damage to all enemies. It's a 3-mana fell spell. This is I don't think this is good. We have Defile.
All
but
enemies.
the
kill
point
them
of
with
it is
this
to kill.
card.
The point of this
This
is
card
to kill.
goes face.
Oh, it goes face. Okay.
We
Scratch
burn
that.
out
This
our
card is
deck.
crazy.
This card's nuts.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah,
say
okay.
it looks so cool.
It does. It
And
looks
like
really
the
cool.
of it being like the crescendo, like this is your like big play, is just really cool to me. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, 4-star going face is crazy.
Yeah, I'm giving this one a 5. This
Me
one's nutty. Like, this is the card that makes Failstring Harp broken. This is the card that makes us even want to play like some of the other fatigue ones maybe that aren't as good. Mainly the 5-drop, I guess. Well, I don't know. The 5-drop's not that bad either. No, the 5-drop might be good.
Yeah.
But just I don't know, like this super weaponizes like your own self damage, your own accelerated way to burn your whole deck and then kill them because you have no cards. And you can also just do it even by playing a couple fatigue cards before this one if you need a deal 3 to everything. That might not be that bad, honestly. To go like Baritone Imp on 2 and Baritone Imp on 3, and then on turn 4, I need to deal 3 to everything. And it also does face. It doesn't hit your stuff, it hits their stuff. Like, that's amazing. This card is so good.
I'm here for it. I'm excited. I like that we can actually play a deck that has a real win condition. Like you control and then they explode.
Yeah. Yeah, this card is absolutely a win con. Win con cards are good cards.
5 it.
All right, y'all talked me up to a 3. Let's go.
Let's go. That's big.
Let's go.
Honestly, I'm happy.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That's
Yeah.
Dragon Rider doesn't like the fatigue
At least-
archetype.
That's right.
We got her to a 3. That's
Someone,
good.
someone's gotta have the spicy takes. All right, like there's too much agreeing going on. Like I'm not
Ladies
for
and
this.
gentlemen, we got it.
At least Mithril Rod is not a card. In standard.
Truth.
This would
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
like
Okay, that would be
like-
absolutely broken if
Love when a card gets
Mithril
nerfed
Rod-
twice and it's still the best card in the
Still,
deck.
yeah, broken.
yeah.
All right. How about the next one, Demonic Dynamics?
Demonic Dynamics is a 3-mana fell spell. says discover 2 demons and has finale. Give them +1/+2. I am not playing this card. I think this card is like a 1 because discover 2 demons is kind of crappy.
Discover.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry, are they not being summoned at the time that we are putting them in our hand, and then we have to
yeah.
spend real mana on
They
them
should just.
Yeah.
They should just.
from our
should just-
hand?
They should just go to the hand, right? I mean, this
And
card's
we
not good.
also need to spend all of our mana in order to give them a buff? Oh my god, that's a 1.
Yeah, this card is mega.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
rather
never
play.
playing this card.
Compare
I'd
this to
rather-
the DH one that draws 2 and discounts.
I'd rather play Sense Demons if I'm playing that.
Yeah,
And
when
Sense
this is
Demons
worse
isn't
than a
core.
classic card from like 10 years ago. Unlucky.
Yeah, Sense Demons is
This
pretty
garbage.
good.
There you go. All right. I agree with y'all. This is terrible. It's a 1.
Let's
This isn't
go.
a good card. Yeah.
We
Obviously,
got
if it played, it would be excellent.
Oh yeah,
But-
if it just put them on the board, then great. But yeah.
Bruh, this is over a 6 if it puts on the board.
Oh yeah, it'd be nutty.
This is not a card. Yeah,
this is
It's not-
what we
it
call
doesn't. It doesn't
tool.
exist if it does that.
Next card.
Mm-hmm.
Next card is Crazed Conductor. It's a 5 mana 4/5. Says battle cry, take fatigue damage, summon that many 3/3 imps. The amount of fatigue damage you take is the amount of imps you summon. So it is at least a 5 mana 7/8. That ain't bad. That's not bad. I mean, if you're gonna be doing the thing that takes fatigue damage anyway, like if you're already taking it and you're playing all those cards, you might as well play a big board. Like it's another thing that your opponent has to deal with because then, like especially if you come off of turn 3, where like you've done Baritone Imp and then you've done Crescendo and then you've got like Coin, this thing, and you're summoning 3 imps. That's pretty good, especially if your opponent doesn't have a board or a large board. It's going to be really hard to fight the 4/5 and then the 3/3 imps. So I think it's a reasonable card. Even if it's just summoning 1 imp, it's not the worst stats in the world. So pretty decent. I would give it a 3.
Yeah, well reasoned.
Agreed.
I think this is a 3 card for sure. Like we are probably trying to have Virtuoso or Harp up before we play
Yeah.
this too, so we don't even take any damage from it. But even if we do, it's not really a big deal. Just like it reminds me kind of Militia. Just
Okay,
in
yeah.
a much
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
way. It's cheaper. They don't have rush though, but like it accelerates a win con of your deck, and that's really good just to have that. And it's not a bad card just on its own for what it does. I like it.
All right, it's a 3. There you go. Everybody
We got
happy? All right.
Ooh.
Got her.
There you
Let's
go.
go.
They're all 3s. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a 3. It's good. I debated
Any other
rating it higher, but
Opera Soloist. It's a 5 mana 4/6. Battlecry. If you control no other minions, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. Does not go face. It is also a demon. I'm somewhere in the middle on this card because like 3 damage to all enemy minions is pretty cool. You have to control no other minions. That's pretty bad if you're behind on board and you're just hellfiring. On turn 5 is hellfire enough. I'm not sure that 3 damage is enough on turn 5 with no board. It also does not have taunt. It doesn't have rush or anything. So you're just going to put this down and you're going to hope that it clears enough stuff for you to do your thing. But I think that this deck, I think the Warlock in general is going to have enough board clear that I don't think it'll need this 5 mana deal 3 conditionally. And it's also a 4/6, so like it's not a great stat line on its own. So I think we could probably skip that. I'm going to give it a 2 because I don't think it's that great, but I mean, it's an AoE card, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on this one. I do think this is probably the best soloist card.
yes.
That's not saying a lot, though.
So
Soloist card's really bad. So I'm either 2 or 3 on this. I just don't know. I mean, it's probably not. It's a 2 if you're playing it on turn 5 most of the time, right? But maybe it's a 3 because you could run it in a more control-y Warlock shell and you play it on like turn 7, so you also play a couple of cheap spells to weaken the other things on board to get your full board clear, and it's just like a swing turn that you have. I'm going to stick with the 2, though, because I just don't really believe in it. And our other cards that seem much better like to put more things on the board, like Craze Conductor and Baritone Imp, that go with our fatigue, like WinCon. It just seems like a much stronger thing to do.
We miss you, entitled customer.
I
This
yeah.
is a hilariously worse entitled customer.
Much, yes.
Yeah, I'm not down on this card. This one is not it. Like,
Oh,
you
I
can't have
spelled it
any other
wrong.
minions on the board, so you can't like take trades after to like
You
finish
trade
things off.
before.
I guess, but your things have to die, which does not always happen. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like it.
It's so awkward. I'll give it a 2. Ah, no, I'm giving it a 1. Screw this card. Why?
All the soloist cards are
I'm pretty torn because like we're acting like this is gonna like like I don't know. I look at the fact that the curse package is still there. I'm like, man, this card could be quite good. Like, could definitely have its shining moments in a deck like Curse Imp. Maybe not Curse Imp, but like I know that Curse Lock has never really been a deck just on its own. It's been sort of fringe, but we're getting so many. We're getting like a decent chunk of clear stuff. We're getting Defile, like Defile. The fact that Defile's coming back to standard is quite. I like it a lot. I like
Love
Defile,
that for us.
but I don't know. I'm giving it a 2, but I'm also trying to. I'm like, I think this card could find something. Could find something in like a curse type deck as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a turn 7 soloist plus Defile enables like a really good clear or something.
Something like that.
Absolutely. I'd rather
Yeah.
just have a board.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
like,
wait.
yeah, I mean, it's the best soloist card, but all the
But, like,
soloist
Is
cards
sometimes-
suck.
Okay, wait.
So,
The funny
it
thing
is what it
about
is.
this card is they bait you into thinking it's good by writing enemy minions, but then you realize that it has to be, or it doesn't matter because you can never have minions on your side of the board anyways. So it literally could say all minions.
So,
Uh,
this card does as much damage to minions and not face as Crescendo does after just two other fatigue cards being played.
yeah.
Like
But-
Crescendo's like
you can have a
insanely
board.
better than Soloist.
And Crescendo's only enemies, like, so it's only hitting
Yeah.
enemies anyway. So like, it's not even gonna,
And
like, you can
synergizes
keep your
with
board.
like not like hurting yourself by just being behind all game. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Don't let
Next
it
card.
fool you. It does damage to all minions.
I went between 2 and 3 as well. I'm gonna land on a 3 myself for this one. I think it's decent. Yeah, the having to control no other minions is super awkward, and that's the reason this card is not much better. But I still think having this clear, there's still gonna be some like control Warlock decks that want to play this. There's been similar effects in even like control Priest, and just I think it's still fine. It's not the greatest, but I don't think it's a 2. I think it actually will see play in multiple decks, so I'm gonna give it a 3.
They also added Hellfire to the core set at 3 mana, which is a nice board
Yep.
clear.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Moving on to Rin Orchestrator of Doom. 5 mana, 3/6 taunt. Death Rattle. Both players draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and destroy the top 2 cards of their deck. There's kind of got to be some other stuff going on if you're going to try to do the thing where you fatigue your opponent. But it could work. I like Rin. I think she's cute. Adorable. But I don't know if this card is going to work currently. I'll give it a 3. I would like to see it tried. I'm going to try it. Does Tamsin's Phylactery stick around, or is that gone?
No.
It's gone.
Since Phylactery should be gone.
All right,
Yep.
so it's a 2.
It's cool that it exists in case like combo decks are insane for some reason, but otherwise it's kind of bad. I don't want to.
I don't want to. I do not want to discard cards from my hand.
Yeah, that's valid. I'm giving it a 1.
Like unless because like, I mean, you're running this in what I think Malchezaar's Imp is core. No, Malchezaar's Imp is only wild. But
Battlecry would be sick though on this.
I give it a 2 right up until it burns/discards my 2 copies of Crescendo, and then I delete it from the
My
deck.
collection. Oh.
Yeah, actually from the collection. Just dust it.
Bye.
But yeah, it's interesting and weird. I don't think it's better than Fringe.
It's a solid 2 for me. I don't think it's any better than a 2.
Not very good, but some people like chaos, and there you go. You can have it.
I was literally just about to say this should have been called Orchestrator of Chaos because this card is
Yeah.
chaotic.
Yeah.
This card is Deck of Chaos.
I don't feel doom. I feel like, why is this happening? Anyway, next card. Any
Is
other thoughts?
Reconnaissance still in standard?
No.
No. Recon is gone.
All right. Thank God.
Next card, anyone? Everyone?
Send
We're
it.
good.
Dirge.
Thick Dirge of
Dirge.
Despair. It is a 6-mana shadow spell. Deal 3 damage to a character. If that kills it, summon a demon from your deck. Now, I like when you get to cheat things out from your deck. I like dealing damage to any character. I don't like this, though. Very expensive. Doesn't deal a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Hard to, I mean, you gotta not draw the demon, so it's like you have to play the demons, you have to play the not like the big demons. You can't play the small ones because if you pull a small one, this card is omega terrible. I give it a 2. I mean, you can probably figure something out with it, I'm sure, but as it currently stands, it's pretty bad. I mean, I guess you can Finley your way, like if you draw it, you can Finley your demons back to the bottom, or I don't know, something like that. But I don't think
Right.
it's that great. So I give it a 2, maybe even a 1. Maybe it's just Despair, actually.
Neutral demons in standard.
Moarg Forge Fiend.
Moarg Forge Fiend rotates. Awesome. So
Really?
we can't do that.
Oh, I thought, okay. Oh,
That's the
interesting.
only good one. That's it. That's the list.
Mal'Ganis is good.
Malgan.
Actually, yeah, that's
Dreadlord.
coming back to core, right? Mal'Ganis. That'd be the reason
Malgan
to run this.
Dreadlord.
Mm-hmm.
Enhanced
Yeah.
Dreadlord is insane.
Yeah. So I mean, this card is good with core set because what exists in standard currently and the demon cards that Warlock got, they're all terrible with Dirge. I think it's a 2 at best.
Okay, wait.
Abyssal Enforcer isn't that.
What if Mal'Ganis Jailer is the most broken deck in the game? What if you don't have hard removal and you just lose because your minions are immune and the hero's immune, so you literally can't do anything? Haha. Insane.
Mal'Ganis plus Jailer plus Crescendo win game.
Concoction destroys it. Anyway.
What does?
Yeah.
And you play the harp
Concoction.
with the Crescendo and you beat him. Jailer enables that deck really nicely.
True.
The Crescendo deck that
Yeah.
like Jailer always gets
Mhm.
run, right?
Yeah.
Alright, dude sucks. Cool.
Yeah, for this, like you need a really good demon or multiple really good demons. You need a payoff. This is terrible right now. It's a 1.
And the conditions of this, like deal 3 damage
Yeah.
and kill the.
Well, and it has to be
character.
from your deck, like Atashi said. Like if you draw it, well, tough luck. Can't pull it.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It would be really funny though to use this to lethal somebody. It's like the
Sure.
honorable kill lethal.
I love the honorable kill thing that let you discover something. I think it was the rogue card, just
Yeah.
killing someone with it. Yeah. And just sitting there.
Nefarian.
Why is
Nefarian.
Doomguard not in core? Cowards.
And
This reminds me, kind of reminds me of Possessed Slacky a little bit. Obviously, it's got a little bit more of a you have to kill it thing, but 6 mana Death Rattle, recruit a demon.
I like this 6 mana one better.
Oh man, this card is nice. Symphony of Sins. 6 mana, discover and play a movement, shuffle the other 6 into your deck. These obviously mirror the 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes.
So there's Desire, which is lifesteal, deals 6 damage to the enemy hero. Then there's Envy, remove the top 6 cards from your opponent's deck. Gluttony, give a random minion in your hand, deck, and battlefield 6/6. +6/+6. Greed, draw 6 cards. Pride, draw your highest cost minion, reduces cost by 6. And Sloth, summon a 6/6 demon with Taunt and Reborn. Wrath, deal 6 damage to all characters. That is all 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. Yep, that's all 7.
And then there's
Um,
4 Doomlord, I think also goes in there.
Which is this? Yeah, that's the token from Sloth.
Oh, gotcha.
I
Yeah.
think this card is fantastic. I think this card does so freaking much. The only thing is that, like, I mean, Discover, and there's 7 options. I mean, I guess you could miss, but it's hard to miss when, like, I don't think there's a combination of 3 options that are all 3 just terrible. So I think that it's pretty dang good. And then shuffling the others into your deck, they're all 3-cost cards, and for 3-cost cards they do quite a lot. Especially like Greed, draw 6, 3 mana, draw 6 is crazy. 3 mana 6/6 Taunt Reborn is crazy. 3 mana deal 6 to everything is crazy. So I like it. I like the longevity aspect of it, especially if you're playing a controlling Warlock deck. If you're doing the fatigue thing to your opponent. So I give it a 4. I want to experiment with it, play with it, and I think it's a fun looking card.
This animation better be insane, or I'll
Yeah.
be disappointed.
This looks so cool. This card is amazing. I agree on a 4 because I don't think it's gonna like break the meta or anything. It obviously is another card though that we easily may want to even run in our fatigue deck just because we could hit the 3 mana draw 6 and like burn out our deck. It has some downside too though, the fact that we put a bunch more into our deck is kind of tricky.
Running for the culture, to be honest.
It's like a, I don't know. I don't actually have a certainty about whether or not it goes in the best deck with Crescendo, because it does potentially stop us if we don't find the draw 6 one. But if we do, then it's fine. And then it's good. And the rest of them are really good in multiple other decks. Looks like a really cool card that you can do a lot with.
Yeah, I'm here for this one. I'm giving it a 4. This is probably the coolest card that's set for me.
Warlock definitely got a really cool set this time around.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really, really torn on this. Like, I want to give it a 4, but also I think it's gonna be fringe, so I kind of want to just give it a 2 because I don't think this goes in every Warlock deck. Like, you're not playing this in an aggressive deck. It feels like you will have to kind of build for this. It reminds me of the like Mechathune, that when you started the game, it split up and you put all the pieces in, and like individually they might seem okay, but you kind of, I mean, for that you needed to get all of them. But for this one, you don't have to get all of them, right? Like, you don't have to draw all of them to get the pieces. But also, like, is there enough value from these that, like, what else are you doing? Because I don't think this card or these pieces on their own are a win condition. So, like, this just goes into some other deck. And, like, is that good? That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't want to put an unplayable Movement of Envy in any deck other than something that wants to drop my deck to nothing. I don't know. I think this card's flavor is awesome. I'm not sure of the viability of the card. I'm really not so sure about either of these legendaries for Warlock. I would like to be proven wrong, so we'll see.